Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome into the, there it goes. It did itself. News 10 Plus Desk. I'm Taylor Gattoni with Claudia Sella from Studio 10.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Your shirt is as bright as the blue skies out there. I mean, obviously it's a bright red, not a blue, but still, we've got the bright sunshine.
It's really nice out there right now.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it, and I'm also excited because it is Take Me Home Tuesday. So we have the Capital Area Humane Society coming in to show us a fluffy friend. I always say fluffy friend because I don't know what kind of fluffy friend it is until they get here. Could be a cat, could be a dog, could be a guinea pig, could be a
rabbit.
bunny. Yeah. So I always get super excited.
But they've also had non-fluffy ones, like hedgehogs.
Yes, you're right. And they also had like a more, it wasn't a naked cat, but what it kind of was, like a furless cat. That was a while ago, but
There was a ferret too, right?
Oh yeah, ferrets are so naughty, but I love them so much. My dad used to have a ferret friend who he would intentionally knock glasses down. He'd like look you in the eyes and you'd be like, "Don't do it," and he would do it. So I love ferrets. They're just mischievous and fun little guys. So we don't know what they're gonna bring until they get here, but it's always adorable and someone who is ready for their forever home. So if you're in the market for a forever buddy, you will definitely want to tune in today at 3 p.m. And then we also have another, the Poet Laureate kind of handing off the torch. So last year's Poet Laureate kind of handing off the torch to the new Poet Laureate, which is a big, big shoes to fill. So super excited about that. And then it is our Mom Nation giveaway still. So if you've got a mom who you love and deserves a great Mother's Day, you'll definitely want to mominate your mom. And the easiest way that you can do that is you can watch our show and we'll tell you how to do that. But of course, if you aren't available at 3 p.m., you can always go onto our socials. That's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and we will be there and we'll have everything on those websites so that you can see how to mominate your mom. And there's some really incredible prizes that you can give to your mom for this momination. And all you have to do is pretty simple. You don't really have to do much. You just have to tell us why you love your mom and why she's so awesome and deserves to be mominated. And you will get those just in time for Mother's Day. So all you have to do, join us at 3 p.m. And if you can't join us at 3 p.m., you can check out our social media pages and you'll find everything that you need to know there. We are doing this all throughout the week, so go over and nominate your mom because it's a great giveaway and it's a really great way to show your mom how much you appreciate her on this Mother's Day. Otherwise, we will see you at 3 p.m. and I hope you have a very happy Tuesday.
Yes, you too, Claudia. We'll see you coming up on Studio 10, and like Claudia was mentioning just now, head over to YouTube. That's typically, you can head over to whatever platform you want, but head over to, she says goodbye. Catch Claudia coming up in the rest of Studio 10 at 3 o'clock today. But yes, this is where you can see more of Studio 10. I like to go on videos so that you can see all of them, kind of just scroll through, see how you can plan the rest of your week with any fun events that you're looking forward to. Maybe you have a friend in town, some family. I know a lot of people did, especially those graduates for graduation over the weekend. I'm sure they were trying to find some places to celebrate and check out while they were here with their graduates, and by them I mean the families and friends. So you can always check out Studio 10 for more of that, all of their little updates. And yeah, just see all of the amazing videos. Here, I'll keep scrolling down so you can kind of get an idea of what they have coming up today and all of the good stuff. But yes, make sure to go check that out on Studio 10 on all of their platforms. Just a great place to go and see what you can do coming up for the weekend, the week, whatever you're feeling. Make sure to go check that out. And also, we want to take a live look outside, so if you give me just a second. Speaking of Michigan State University, we'll take a live look over MSU right now, getting a look at the beautiful weather that we are seeing today outside across mid-Michigan. So I'll give you a few live looks across our area so you can see what we're looking at. So right now, of course, that's Michigan State University. Let me take you to downtown Mason right now, and you're getting that live look over there. And then maybe we'll take you to Delta Township real quick, seeing more of those blue skies. And yes, there are some clouds in the sky, but hey, nothing terrible at all. So again, just make sure that you go check that out. And then let's see if I can give you one more live look. We'll take you to downtown Jackson in just a second here. Got to switch all the buttons and the camera shots so you don't see the behind the scenes, so I'll just let you know what's happening. But yes, taking a live look over downtown Jackson and just seeing there's less clouds actually, at least in this view that we're seeing here through our Jackson Skycam. But yes, just enjoy all of the beautiful temperatures today. I will show you what Justin Bradford will be in for Studio 10 coming up later today. First at 4, our 90 minutes of news. But here's what Darren has. Lots of sunshine this afternoon. I'm talking too fast, my apologies. And then you can kind of look at this description that Darren has. And not only the description that goes more in depth beyond what you see right here, but you can also see the almanac information. So you're seeing back in 1876, there was a record low of 22 degrees on April 30th. But you're looking at the highest one, 1899, at 87 degrees. So if we take a look at what else Darren has listed here coming up for the rest of the week, you're seeing it feels like 64 degrees outside. There is a slight little breeze with the wind. But then look at all of this. Take a look at the hour by hour if you are planning anything heading into the rest of your day today. You just take a little look right there. And then if you keep scrolling even further, or actually click on the buttons, you can see what's coming up for your 3-day forecast, your 10-day forecast, even your weekend forecast. And not just that, but this takes a look at your past. Let's change it to your future to see what's coming up. You can see if there's any showers, if it stays dry in the forecast, and there you go. You're seeing on your screen that it is just staying dry. So we'll play it through one more time so you get an idea. Oh, it's just going to play itself. But yes, that is all the different ways that you can stay up to date with News 10 and our First Alert Weather team with your First Alert forecast, of course. And then you can always download the First Alert Weather app for more details too, because not only will you get hour by hour temperatures on there, you will also get the video updates from our meteorologists. You will get the radar and satellite like I was just showing you. But if you want a one-stop shop, the News 10, WILX First Alert Weather app is such a great tool to have, because you also get your traffic alert updates, and you can specify the location that you would like to receive those updates. So you can go into settings, change your notifications. I know some people, they don't like the all of the updates from all across mid-Michigan, so you can go into your settings and specify it to your location, and then toward a location that you may be heading to later that day or later in the week, or you're trying to plan ahead or look at the forecast for somebody else. That is where you can do that. Make sure that you go check that out. But that is what we have coming up in our First Alert forecast. Just beautiful temperatures. In fact, today is the cooler day of the week. It's not cold at all. It's still warm and maybe a little bit muggy outside still, but you'll have that breeze. But more so heading into the rest of the week, potential showers. But more so we're seeing that sun and warmth. Those are the two main stories. But of course you can check in with our First Alert Weather team. Darren Rockwell, the chief, and then you have Andy Provenzano. You got Colton Sikoraki, who's making a return tomorrow. He was on a much needed vacation. And then we also have Justin Bradford, who I mentioned earlier, who will be in here coming up, starting with Studio 10, coming up in just over 50 minutes, and then followed by First at 4, and he is filling in for Andy today, who is also on a much needed vacation. So we're happy for them. Of course, it's soaking up all of the beautiful warm temperatures that we are experiencing today across mid-Michigan. So I'm going to leave that forecast up there, or at least the First Alert Weather app for you, for just a little bit longer, and then I'll take you back to what Darren has in the hourly, so you can at least see what you want to plan today. I know that the Lansing Lugnuts have their second series of a 2-week homestand at Jackson Field, so they are at home. Last week they played against the Dayton Dragons. This week they are playing against the South Bend Cubs from Indiana, so make sure that you go check that out. I know that me and another coworker here at News 10, we are familiar with the South Bend area, so now that we're here in Lansing, we're looking to take down the Cubs, respectfully. But yes, make sure to go check that out. You get the hour-by-hour forecast, see how you can prepare for tonight's game. It is a 6 o'clock or 6:05 start, so if I scroll down just a little bit, the game typically gets done around 9, so you're seeing I'm highlighting what you're looking at. If you plan on going to the Lansing Lugnuts game tonight, tomorrow, Friday, and beyond that, and then next week they will be in Ohio. So if you want to catch a Lansing Lugnuts game, get outside. be in the community and maybe hit some of the local restaurants and businesses afterward to get outside. You know, it's a good excuse to do so. Make sure that you're doing that, and just check out the forecast because it is looking beautiful. Later tonight, if you plan on being out past 9 o'clock, you might want just a little light jacket. Other than that, it should feel great outside. So that is what you can expect for your first alert forecast, and everything like that. Otherwise, let me share what we have coming up during our 90 minutes of news today. We have a few reporters who are going to share what they have coming up during our 90 minutes of news, but they are busy working on their stories, making the calls, talking to different people out in the community. And when I say people, of course, I generalize that because they have different stories. So that could be residents, that could be business leaders, could be students, could be anything of the sort, right? So mental health care professionals as well. So they're talking to a vast array of people out in the community. So just make sure to go check that out. Let's see here. We have a hi from East Lansing and a happy Tuesday from Chris. Chris, happy Tuesday from you as well. I'll take another live look over East Lansing right now. Just give me a second so I can change that little camera shot for you. And you can see that live look from East Lansing. Let's take a look. You're seeing a little bit more of those clouds in the distance and some in the forefront. Otherwise, those beautiful, vibrant blue skies, and also, you know, a lot of that green, vibrant color on Michigan State University's campus. So a lot of great stuff. And then Doug is asking, why don't you cover U of M teams as much as you cover MSU teams? Well, Doug, you know, we try to do both. I know that we've talked about the national championships with the University of Michigan. Of course, J.J. McCarthy, the former quarterback, who was the 10th pick overall in the NFL draft in Detroit over the weekend. And he is going to be with the Minnesota Vikings. So that is great stuff from U of M. You know, we've covered multiple different things. We covered the newsworthy things that are, you know, we want to get out there for you. But
well, we've got a little bit of a distance barrier too.
Distance barrier is why.
A little tricky for us to drive, you know, all the way out to Ann Arbor in a news day.
But when we get the news from the University of Michigan, we do want to share that.
Yeah.
We do. University of Michigan Health Sparrow, that's a big University of Michigan thing too.
Yeah, and we do also, you know, quite a bit of content sharing with our stations or our sister stations, you know, stations that we work with over in that area.
We want to get you that content.
Yes, we're working on it. We do our best, but like I said, it's a little bit of a distance barrier. And I think we are, you know, I don't want to offend anybody, but I think we are in Spartan country, maybe a little bit here in mid-Michigan.
Spartan alum.
I don't know. It might just be my biased view.
Doug, are you a Wolverine fan? Let me know in the chat right now. Would love to hear.
Yes. But today I was out in the field not talking about anything related to either school. Today we are talking about electric vehicles and the charging infrastructure here in the state of Michigan. The Anderson Economic Group, they just released a report. I've got it here right in front of me because I didn't want to get any of these numbers wrong.
I'm sure there's a lot of numbers too.
Right, yeah. So over the past year, the state of Michigan saw about a 52% increase in the amount of fast electric vehicle charging stations across the state. So a 52% increase is pretty sizable. That's not just for all electric vehicle chargers, that's specifically for the fast charging stations. Another thing that I thought was really, really interesting, I'm going to read this off for you guys right now. So right now, about 20% of Michigan's population lives within a 10-minute round-trip drive of a fast charging station. So at any given time, about 20% of Michigan's population is about 5 minutes away from a fast charger. But on the flip side, or compare it to gas stations really quickly, I know they've had a little bit more time to prepare their infrastructure, but gas stations here in Michigan, 85% of Michigan residents live within a 10-minute round trip of a gas station. So 85% of Michigan's population lives about 5 minutes away from a gas station. About 20% of Michigan's population lives about 5 minutes from a fast charging station. So I thought that was really interesting. You know, we've had some stuff in the news recently about how electric vehicle sales are slowing down. I believe I saw in some other places production was slowing down in light of the sales slowdown. But, you know, we were talking this morning in the morning meeting, it's kind of like the chicken or the egg situation. You know, what comes first? Because we've got the electric vehicles now, but they're still trying to get the the infrastructure there and the charging stations built up, and it seems like we're in that little bit of an awkward phase, maybe in the middle, where not quite maybe where electric vehicle owners would want it to be, or maybe not quite where people would want it to be for them to buy an electric vehicle. It's probably part of the reason, you know, sales are slowing down.
Yeah, I've also heard some people, you know, hearing from others in the newsroom, hearing from their friends, their family, electric vehicles tend to, you know, the gas can keep you going on the road for a while. Electric vehicle, you're having to stop here and there if it's a long road trip.
Yeah.
But like you said, those short little trips
Yeah.
would, you know, arguably have efficiency in some areas as opposed to the gas vehicles.
Yeah, and I think it depends where you live too. Like if you're, you know, right in between, like a rural area, right in between major cities, you're probably going to be a lot harder pressed to find a charging station near where you live. I spoke with quite a few electric vehicle owners as they were charging up today, and they all said, you know, they love their vehicle, but it can be a little bit tricky sometimes if you're not in like a metropolitan area like Lansing, Grand Rapids, Detroit. So they all said, you know, more charging stations would be nice, but they did say that they love their electric vehicles, so yeah.
Well, we will hear more on that. And I see you've got all of this report here.
Yes, all, well, it's kind of a summary of the report. I have the report too, but this is the summary in front of me. It's about 2 pages. But I will have a little bit of a, you know, I talked with the electric vehicle owners and then the Anderson Economic Group about these numbers. I'll have a summary of all of it on News 10 at 5 o'clock. And we'll be live in the field, so I don't know if you guys like watching the live shots. Who knows? Maybe something crazy will happen.
Well,
hopefully not. Fingers crossed. But
you
gonna be
know,
live.
and we'll both be live in the field after work. And for that
Oh my
field, we're
gosh.
talking a softball field.
Are we going to be live for that? I don't think we're
No,
not going to have
gonna be
cameras
live.
there,
No,
right?
no, we won't have. Well, some of our, you know, our friends may.
Okay, they might
take some
be.
videos.
Okay, yeah.
Watch out on Facebook.
Yeah, heard it here first. WILX has officially, well, tonight, our softball league officially begins. If you are part of the Lansing Rec League, you might be playing us. Our name is WIL Extra Innings. Kind of a fun play on words.
It ties into our Monday segment, Extra Innings, with the Lugnuts, the voices of the Lansing Lugnuts, Jesse Goldberg, Strassler, and Adam Jackson. But yeah, a lot of fun. So of course we had to play off of that a little bit.
Yes, yes. I'm excited. You know, I've never played softball in my life, so it should be quite interesting to see how that goes
You're
for
right.
me.
I forgot you didn't. I feel like you would.
I was a volleyball soccer girl.
Okay, soccer
Yeah.
too. There we go.
Yep. But like I said, I will be live, News 10 at 5 o'clock. I see we've got
Oh yeah.
Doug got
Doug.
back. Chris is a U of M fan too.
What?
You know, full disclosure, my grandparents both went to U of M. My boyfriend went to U of M.
My dad went.
I used to like U of M growing up. Blue is my favorite color. I think I just became a Spartan by proxy. You know, my dad also works on campus. So, you know, I definitely get what you're saying. You cheer for U of M first, MSU second. I'm kind of the flip-flop of that. MSU first, U of M second.
Doug says he's U of M first, MSU second, but any team that represents the state of Michigan. So we can all agree, as long as it represents the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
Ohio fans,
Yeah. Fun little sidebar in the comments here on Facebook.
there we go. Thanks for participating, everyone. Good luck. Hope you win from Doug. Let's do it.
Woohoo!
Woo! There we go.
Go softball.
Go softball.
WIL Extra Innings.
There we go. We will see you later, Erin. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, we're going to share what else we have coming up during our 90 minutes of news today, starting with First at 4 and talking about getting outside, enjoying the outdoors. And by outdoors, I don't mean, nature so much, but yeah, getting out in nature would be awesome too. Well, Albert Al Fresco is reopening in 2 days, this Thursday. And so the city of East Lansing has already shut down Albert Avenue between Grove Street and MAC Avenue. That happened yesterday on Monday. So they closed that section of downtown East Lansing off so that they can reopen Albert Al Fresco. And it's called Albert because it's on Albert Avenue, not Al Fresco. I'm going to have to ask that during Mid-Michigan Matters today. But make sure to go look forward to that and how you can enjoy the downtown East Lansing businesses, help them out. If you have friends, family in the area, or you just want to take yourself out on a little date, go do that. It's a great area. They'll have all this fun. I'm not going to spoil the fun because we got to see what else is coming up. Chris, my brothers went to U of M. That's what he said. All right. I see why you're a U of M fan. Okay. Appreciate it, Chris. Thank you for participating. Doug, you as well. And then coming up, News 10 at 5. Isley Herschel is on the story about the MSU Surplus store. So Michigan State University Surplus has had over 600 calls for service, as students have moved out of dorms, right? They finished the school year on Friday, and a lot of students graduated over the weekend. So we're getting a look at a behind-the-scenes look at what the surplus is seeing as they're working to get this inventory out the door. Coming up, News 10 at 5:30, there are about 2 stories that we want to share here. The first one with Riley Connell talks about the Michigan County's Legislative Conference. So Riley's taking a look at the Michigan County's Legislative Conference to talk to officials about topics like opioid settlement money. Of course, we had a lot of topics about the opioid epidemic on the rise. So Riley's talking about the opioid settlement money. And then also on News 10 at 5:30, Tanaya Jordan is talking about food waste and how people can put their wasted food to work. There was a statistic I was seeing, I think it's about a quarter of all landfills are filled with this food waste. Yeah, I know Deanna's over here going, wow. Yeah, I know, that was my reaction too. I was like, what? So that's a lot. And if you think about at home your own trash bags when you're throwing things away, the food is expiring. Maybe it's not what you thought it would taste like. It just didn't turn out well. Maybe you forgot to eat it and you're throwing all this food out. Yeah, think about how much of that is going into the landfills. Tanaya Jordan will tell you coming up, News 10 at 5:30. And then News 10 at 6, our let's see here, Capitol correspondent, thank you, I was trying to find the right word. Capitol correspondent, News 10, Zachariah Wheaton, will be talking about the Michigan Community College Association hosting Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist II and leadership from Jobs for the Future for a robust discussion on how artificial intelligence will transform the experience at community colleges, and also looking at how these students can adjust to all of those advancements and but that is what we have coming up, News 10 at 6 today, and we have Deanna Giles standing next to me, sharing what she has coming up during our 90 minutes of news. Oh, I have to take this down first, my bad. There we go.
There we go.
Lots of buttons. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, because we have the bright blue skies, like it is your jacket.
And it is so sunny outside and so lovely.
Were you like warm in this?
You know, it was a little warm, but it wasn't unbearable though.
Okay.
So it was okay.
Well, that's good. For anyone heading out the door, there you go.
Exactly. But no, I'm working on a story on this state has now the second lowest recidivism rate. So recidivism, I know that kind of blows over people's minds, but basically, you know, they work with parolees after they're released from prison. So for the first 3 years, they don't return back. That is considered a success. So right now we have the second lowest rate in the state history, which means about shy of 22% of people have returned. So that means the other half of it did not.
It was a success.
Right. So that's really good. You know, they're working on education and housing, and a lot of that. I spoke with the Michigan Department of Corrections. A lot of that started before they were released too. As you know, some departments, some sheriff's departments and jails are doing like courses or other resources that they can have while they're inside. And so that kind of just carries over when they get out, and then they get even more to help them become more stable in society. Yeah. So, I mean, that's helping them, that's helping their families, it's helping us, you know.
It's the domino effect.
Exactly. You know, it's not just them, that individual that's impacted. And I think that's the biggest thing here.
Right. So, well, News 10 at
6 o'clock.
All right, we will see you then, Deanna.
All right.
Other than that, I do want to share what we have coming up all year long here on News 10. It is our You're Not Alone mental health series, and we are continuously sharing stories here on News 10 about the mental health. And so we're speaking with community health members. In fact, I'm speaking with a woman that was on Mid-Michigan Matters. And just to tease ahead, I'm not going to give away the full story, but she has ran a marathon on every continent, right? There are 7 continents. So that means she's not only ran a marathon once, she's done it 7 times, at least. She's done it more. But she's done this on every continent, so incredible. One of the marathons that she ran was the major marathon, the Boston Marathon, and she did run the year of the bombings. And something about this local woman is that she's also an exposure therapist. So coming up next month, during May, which is Mental Health Month, encapsulates the overall, topic of mental health. I'm going to be speaking with her because she's not only a community member, she's also a mental health care professional. So she's going to tie into both sides coming up next month. And so you can look forward to that story and many more right here on News 10. Through that QR code, feel free to scan that and you can, get all of those resources, the local resources across our mid-Michigan communities. I do want to take another live look over Michigan State University's campus. Sorry, Chris. Sorry, Doug. I know you're sick of this and you want to talk about Michigan, but we've got Michigan State. And so you're seeing that the sun has kind of gone away a little bit here. I'm sure it's covered by a cloud. You're still seeing in the distance, it is still sunny. And the reason we're talking about Michigan State University is because Isley has a story on the MSU surplus store, which I talked about a little bit, but I want to hear more in depth of what you have coming up.
Yeah, for sure. So move out just happened, obviously. All the freshmen are gone. And with that, they had a lot of extra things like futons and chairs and things like that, mini fridges, microwaves, pretty much anything you can think of. And what they did is they just threw it in the trash, and you know what happened to it after. The MSU surplus store picked that all up, brought it to their store, and they're going to restore as much as they possibly can and be able to reuse that for either other incoming freshmen next year or anyone who might need something of that sort.
That's awesome, because I'm sure a lot of parents, I'm sure our parents can agree with this. It costs a lot of money. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to get this. How can we split it up with the roommates? Who's getting what? And then at the end, you're like, what do I do with all this stuff? Especially if you don't have the space for it.
Yeah. So something that was brought up to me was some people might not be able to afford to buy all new things. This way, you could already have something that was used by another student, and it's way, way cheaper.
And used for maybe like a year.
Yeah, true. Like, I mean, most of the stuff that was in my dorm, I don't even have anymore because I didn't need it. But yeah, most of this stuff is mostly dorm things. You can't really use like a mini fridge in an apartment or like a futon in an apartment type of situation. So most of it is strictly dorm stuff. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Isley. That's coming up News 10 at 5 again, right?
Yep.
All right. We will see you then. One last live look over MSU because that sun is slowly coming back as you're seeing on your screen. And then I'll take a little quick live look over Delta Township. We do have a live stream coming up at 2:30. So I'm going to end this coming up real soon. We're going to get another live look. Of course, check back with the First Alert weather app for free off of Google Play and the Apple App Store for your updated First Alert forecast. Studio 10 gets started in just over half an hour here, followed by First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. So have a great Tuesday, everyone.